Hi everybody, welcome very much to the channel. Today we are here to talk about Sun in Virgo and Moon in Scorpio. Thank you for watching, your support is greatly appreciated. Leave a like and subscribe and use the links down below to know more about my content. And today we have the Moon in Scorpio and the Sun is in Virgo. Moon in Scorpio is fixed water, so it means it's easier for you to react and respond to fixed, consistent or stubborn feelings and emotions, desires, internal transformations, and wars, as well as to any pent up energy related with traumas, deep moments, deep desires, passions, motivation, anger, and frustration. With the Sun in Virgo, you are more inclined to wanting to see, act, and express immutable, associable, or scattered ways of having or looking like you have stability, practicality, organization, and patterns. This is a sextile between the Sun and the Moon, so there is an opportunity to feel more deep, passionate, frustrated, or transformative about yours and others' routines, patterns, stress, work, and stability and organization. This alignment in itself brings the opportunity to act, see, and express in more mutable and scattered ways of bringing stability, structure, and organization to bring stability, structure, organization, and connection through those areas to your deep and fixed feelings, emotions, passions, and frustrations that might be connected to yours or others' ways to have stability and structure in mutable and associable ways. This can be brought up to your awareness in a positive way by bringing some realistic and organized sense to your deep feelings and emotions, allowing you to feel secure, confident, and bountiful about your value and values in organization, profit, and efficiency, while negatively, you can bring your and others' stress, mental illnesses, and negative limits and boundaries to your deep personal space of security and value. Also, you can use reality, organization, and structure to transmute deep emotions, feelings, traumas, and transformative circumstances. And in general, this alignment is more internal, as both the Sun and Moon positions are the internal side of a planet. Scorpio is the internal side of Mars, and Virgo is the internal side of Mercury. So this alignment can help you make sense or be paranoid about deep feelings, passions, frustrations, and desires in a mutable, scattered, and connected way to reality and stability. Also, frustrations and fulfillment are more connected to your real world environments, work, and stress, while you can bring some balance and efficiency to your real world and connected to structure, relationships if you are more internal and strategic about your feelings and emotions, while being able to be loyal to your deep core values. And as usual, I took a tarot card for this energy, and today we have the Three of Cups. This means that today there is more of an opportunity to create new awarenesses, be aware of new things, or complete previous awarenesses, get more information, and be more aware of yours and others' internal spaces, feelings and emotions, dreams and illusions, spiritual purposes, places of comfort, and spiritual goals in general. And the best way to go about this space is with a crystal yellow dragon. So make sure to bring your uniqueness, your individuality, your entertainment, your attention, and your validation to workspaces through your deep values, feelings, and emotions, but always in a clear way with a clear goal and a clear purpose. Make sure to remember that in order to show yourself, you have to be seen and understand that others can see things in you that you don't want them to see, and sometimes you don't even knew you were reacting or you had a certain internal process, and somebody can bring more attention or a more complete and detailed attention to those internal processes or insecurities, for an example. So the crystal yellow dragon not only is you acting clearly, but also understanding that you can be seen more clearly today and you can be a bit more transparent and vulnerable. But if you keep your uniqueness and individuality as the top value, you'll be all right because you'll be able to use that information or even a bit of embarrassment or frustration to transmute those energies and feelings into the best possible way. Now, let's take a look at how the Moon in Scorpio and Sun in Virgo are aligning with the rest of the natal chart. So we have Mercury in Leo squaring the Moon in Scorpio. This means that we are learning how to think, communicate, and analyze in more consistent or stubborn ways that deal with uniqueness, individuality, attention, pleasure, and validation about our deep emotions, deep feelings, deep desires, and transformative circumstances. Also, we're learning how to feel more comfortable in being seen or exposed through our thoughts, ideas, or body language to certain internal processes that we might not be comfortable being seen or exposed about. And then, with the Sun in Virgo, we can bring mutable ways to make sense, practicality, limits, and boundaries to those communications, thoughts, or deep feelings. Venus is also in Leo, also squaring the Moon in Scorpio. So we're learning how to relate, value, and commit with ours and the environment's attention, uniqueness, individuality, pleasure, relatability, and validation when it comes to our deep emotions, deep feelings, deep desires, and transformative circumstances. So this is a great opportunity, even though it brings some tension, to learn how to relate in a more pleasurable, in a more light and healing way, our deep traumas and deep desires, and also we can learn how to make ourselves and others relate and commit in a more pleasurable and exposed, validated way to our deep desires, deep goals, or deep values or insecurities. And with the Sun in Virgo, we can bring actions and expressions that can bring reality and structure, although also bringing some flexibility or scatteredness to then make that learning process more real, smooth, efficient, and profitable. Then we have Mars in Libra, fatal attracting the Moon in Scorpio, and Mars rules Scorpio, so Mars is really close to its internal side. So today we can feel more internal, more secure, more insecure, more valued, more invalued, more fulfilled, or more unfulfilled in more extreme, personal, and spiritual ways about how we are or others are creating new ways to think, communicate, and analyze about our passions, frustration, aggressiveness, motivation, deep creativity, deep desires, personal interests, personal motivations, and personality in general. So it's basically Mars in Libra. Today is a bit more excited, it's a bit more reactive and responsive, and also you can way more easier today bring new thoughts, new ideas, new communications, and new relationships to the Moon in Scorpio, to your deep feelings, deep emotions, and traumas. And also you can bring some consistency or stubbornness with some deep value or deep frustration to how you and others are creating new ways to think, communicate, and analyze about spirituality, desires, passions, and frustrations. Up next, we have Jupiter in Cancer trining the Moon in Scorpio. This is a gift to initiate new expansions and new travels that can unravel or just create new wisdom and knowledge about our deep emotions, deep feelings, deep passion, frustration, anger, motivation, or transformative circumstances. On the other side, we also have a gift to feel more consistent, stubborn, confident, or insecure in our new spiritual purposes, spiritual ways to travel, and spiritual and emotional places of comfort and safety and regeneration or creation in general. And the Sun in Virgo can help us achieve that security or that insecurity in mutable ways to approach reality, work, stress, limits, boundaries, and security. Then we have Saturn in Aries, which is in conjuncting this moon in Scorpio. So we might be misunderstanding our deep feelings and emotions, our deep traumas and values with the new realities, the new structures, the new limits and boundaries that are now being created and being perceived. They might not exist yet, but they might be being aware for the first time or being created in small pieces that will come together later on to create a system. And all those things are being derived from everybody's personality, personal interests, personal insecurities, creativity, actions, and expressions that derive from passions, motivation, anger, and frustrations. So you might be feeling a bit more strategic, a bit more internal, and a bit more manipulative, and reality and those new systems are being created out of more exposed, naive, external, and seen passions, frustrations, and deep desires. Then we have Uranus in Gemini, also misunderstanding, aka in conjuncting the moon in Scorpio. So you might be misunderstanding your deep feelings and emotions, deep frustrations and traumas with how the world is now changing, and the change is being brought through mutable and scattered ways to think, communicate, and analyze in more logical and surface level, cold, and detached ways. So you might be feeling more internal, more frustrated, or just without the ability to communicate newness, freshness, rebelliousness, or opposition, or others might be too stuck up to their own internal feelings, insecurities, traumas, deep passions, and frustrations that they might be misunderstanding how you or your group or what your school of thought represents way to bring newness, freshness, uniqueness, individuality, opposition, and change in a more mutable, scattered, open, light, logical, and cold way. And the key aspect of the misunderstanding can really be that coldness and logical aspect. Then we also have Neptune in Aries, misunderstanding the moon in Scorpio. So you might be misunderstanding your deep emotions and feelings, passions and frustrations with the new awarenesses, the new passions and frustrations that are being expressed or seen for the first time or in a new light, in a new space that are being derived from overall, oversoul, archetypal insecurities, traumas, gifts, values, purposes, or missions. And last but not least, we have Pluto in Aquarius squaring the moon in Scorpio. This is a learning lesson to feel more comfortable, more internal, more purposeful, and more emotional and spiritually valued and valuable to be a part of the new world, of the new age, where everybody has their own unique mind that they can express in a realistic and humanitarian way, or they can find a platform to associate with unique minds that have structural and humanitarian goals. But in order to do that, you need to have some value, some experiences, some transformations, some wisdom and knowledge. And the moon in Scorpio is really helping us learn how to feel and be that wisdom and knowledge, that emotional, spiritual, and core set of values anchor that will not allow this new age of Aquarius to be too AI, to be too corporate, to be too cold, to be too mechanical. Moon in Scorpio really can help us remember and to be fixed, stubborn, and consistent with our core set of values, but on a spiritual, emotional, and personal way. So we can always remember and feel compelled, feel motivated to align with the humanitarian side of Aquarius and to feel insecure, angry, and disgusted when we or others are not using this new age of Aquarius, this new age of uniqueness and progress to actually achieve progress. You know what I'm saying? That's everything for today. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Book a reading or consultation with me using the links down below. Find more about me using the links and link trees as well. I hope you enjoy, and I see you next time.